Hey, Viking fans, this is Keith Millard, and you are listening to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. Go Vikes!
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. I'm One Bar with Lupicus, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about some just under the radar guys the Vikings could be looking at rounds 1 through 4.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Greg Russo, Kwity Paye, Elijah Vera Tucker, Rashawn Slater, round 1. I mean, those names have been tossed around. Round 3, Quinn Miners, safeties, Hasim Nassourdine, Darius Washington. I mean, all kinds of guys that we always constantly keep going back to the same handful of guys. But we're talking about 4 players that we don't mention that often that we really should probably throw out there. We're even going to throw in round 2 options because all the picks the Vikings have, the chances they actually move up into round 2, I think, are pretty high this year.
Yeah, they're going to get a round 2 pick. If they don't, I'm going to eat your ass or something very controversial on video. But they're going to get a round 2 pick because Rick Spielman, he nails those round 2 picks.
If you eat my ass on video, we might get demonetized.
Worth it. Also remember, subscribe, like the videos. We're still giving away that Jimmy Klein saucer, hashtag sauce in the comments. And let us know in the comments who your sleeper is. Maybe a round, maybe it's all 4 rounds. Maybe it's just one guy. Let us know.
Absolutely. I'm going to start this off because I'm a greedy lover that way. I'm going to go round 1. Start with round 1. It makes sense, I think. Pick 14. We already mentioned it. Elijah Vera Tucker, Rashawn Slater, the 2 DNs.
Kwity Paye.
Yeah. I mean, Christian Barmore. Those are the guys you see commonly mocked to the Vikings. I'm going to go out of the box a little bit. Safety, Trayvon Mulrake from TCU. I mean, it's weird because this guy, usually you see him the back end of the first round, pick 24-ish, that Jaguars area to the end of the round. But there's some analysts who I've seen have this guy in their top 10. I've seen him go as high as, 15, I think it was Bucky Brooks. Somebody had him way, way high. Maybe it was Schrager. One of those guys. I know he is the worst. Anyway, I've seen him inside the top 20. But you got to love Trayvon Mulrake. He feels one of the Vikings' biggest needs at safety. Anthony Harris is all but gone. 6'2", 202 pounds. This guy just absolutely looks the part. He can play anywhere. He's a ball hawk. Super instinctive, super smart, 7 interceptions in his career, 124 tackles. If you're looking for a pick that just no one's talking about, the Vikings surprise, like you always keep saying there's always a safety who goes earlier than people think, and it could be Trayvon Mulrake, and it could be at the Vikings pick at 14.
Yeah, safeties always sneak up there. Mulrake's going to go a lot earlier than people think, and it could be the Vikings. Imagine putting him in there with our young corners that we got from last year, setting us up for the future. It would be lovely. I mean, was it the same year when Keanu Neal and Carl Joseph went, or were those separate years? I want to say it was the same year.
Oh, man, you're really pushing me there.
Well, whatever it was, even if they were separate years, those are 2 very good examples of when they went off the board. Everyone just like, holy shit, that is very early. But Mulrake, he's definitely got the talent. He's a top 20 guy. It's just a matter of who's falling off the board before him. I mean, if things start getting pushed down, you never know.
Let's not forget the Jeff Gladney connection. You play with him at TCU, so these guys know each other. They play well together. Can feed off each other. Can kind of sense what the other one's going to do. So there is a little bit of that. So
you know who else? You know who else is coming out of TCU with the safety? Ladarius Washington.
Your favorite.
Love that guy.
You think round 1 for Darius?
I wish. All right, my round 1 sleeper is one that's not going to make the Lupicus very happy, but it's time. I mean, we got to start talking about this guy because he probably is going to go top 20. And with the recent release of Riley Reiff, anything is on the table for the Vikings. And that is one Sam Cosmi, offensive tackle from Texas. He is exactly what the Vikings look for in offensive lineman. He's athletic. He's drawn comparisons to David Bakhtiari. He's got that slim frame when it comes to offensive tackle, but he's very athletic and he just rips shit up at his pro day, which will definitely help his cause.
His Cosmi.
So depending on what happens, and if the Vikings are actually looking at to keep Ezra Cleveland at guard, Cosmi might actually be the best tackle on the board at 14 if some of these other guys go before him, and that scares the shit out of me. But it is I mean, you have to admit, Cosmi is definitely on the table for the Vikings at 14.
Well, I'm surprised you say that because I think you hate Cosmi more than I do.
I'm just being realistic here.
At 14. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a possibility. You mentioned the athletic ability, the not huge frame, but we just drafted that guy last year in round 2 in Ezra Cleveland. So I don't know why you keep Cleveland at guard and then just draft, his basically this year's version of him in round 1. To me, it just seems like you're drafting the same guy twice. So that's why I don't know if it'll happen. But yeah, it could happen. It's definitely in the realm of possibility. I'd rather trade down a few picks and then take Sam Cosmi if we're going to do that. But just taking a tackle flat out, I just feel like you already addressed that need when you took Ezra Cleveland in round 2 last year. To go back and just basically do that again, I don't know. It would really get my goat.
Well, here's why I think it's on the table. And Ezra Cleveland being drafted last year means absolutely nothing to me because they didn't even put him at tackle ever. Not even like practice. They put his ass at guard right away. And when they released Riley Reef, it's not like they said, hey, Ezra Cleveland's our guy. He's our new left tackle. They haven't said anything. They're being very, very sneaky,
Really?
And they haven't really tried him over there at all. So
I could have swore I said something where they said Ezra Cleveland was your guy.
I didn't. I think you read that in your sleep.
No, I'm pretty sure I saw that. I don't know. I would rather take.
You probably read that from Ron Jones on Twitter.
There's no more reliable source than Ron Jones.
Ronald.
Hashtag Ron Jones. Anybody puts that in the comments, I will guarantee you your chances of getting that sauce thing are going to way up.
Hey, we don't cheat here. All right, round 2. I'm going first. You went first last time. And this is more of a position and that nobody's really talking about, but I am going to put a name on it.
I love you brought this up.
Mr. Dylan Moses from Alabama, linebacker. I mean, look at what the Vikings went through last year at linebacker. Yes, we got hit with the injury bug, but it wasn't great. And we're losing Eric Wilson. He ain't coming back. Anthony Barr is still – we'll see what happens there. I mean, I'm sure he'll be back. But we need to add some linebackers here. Dylan Moses is a guy who can play inside. He can play outside. Damn good. He can blitz. He's a guy that can go and get after that quarterback. So if we do get up in round 2, I think linebacker is absolutely on the table as early as round 2. And Dylan Moses is a guy I would absolutely freaking love.
It's funny because you bring up Dylan Moses, who I actually forgot was even in the draft because you buy the Lindy draft magazine every year and they always project future guys. And I think last year is around like top 5 guys. Dylan Moses was in there. Highly regarded prospect, highly regarded player. And then now you don't see him until that round 2 range. And you're like, holy shit, Dylan Moses. I forgot about this guy.
Tore his ACL. After he tore his ACL, he just kind of lost a little bit of steam there.
Great player. I'm not going to argue his talent. I mean, I get it. A couple of things here, though. The weak side position in the Vikings isn't that important. The Vikings never really kind of put a star there. So I don't know if he's worth a round 2 pick for the Vikings, the guy you'd actually trade up. You'd have to trade up to get him unless you trade down in round 1 and get that extra second round pick. But as far as the player, I mean, it would make a ton of sense. He's a great player, but how Mike Zimmer views that knee there at that spot, I don't know if it's worth the second round pick that you'd move up for. So I went with a different direction.
Well, hold on. He's also a safety net because he can play inside. He can play outside. He's a guy you can put anywhere. Eric Kendricks.
He's the next Todd Davis.
Eric Kendricks goes down again. You're not putting some Hardy Nickerson out there. You got some fluctuability there. Is that a word?
Flux capacitor is. It'll get you to the
capacitor.
future.
All right. Who's your guy?
Oh, my guy. So I'm glad you asked. It's Oklahoma center / guard Creed Humphrey, the greatest Creed since Apollo. This guy, super smart player.
Hey, have you ever heard of the band Creed?
I'm sorry,
sir.
It's good to be the king.
It is good to be the king. All
right. Creed Humphrey. I mean, super smart guy. He's a former wrestler. He knows how to grapple. He knows how to attack. He understands leverage. You put him at guard. Eventually, maybe if Garrett Bradbury again isn't super. I mean, he's just what he is. He's been kind of meh so far. If he has another mess season, maybe you slide Creed Humphrey over to the center and takes over center position. But this guy, round 2, I don't think he's getting enough buzz for the Vikings. To me, it makes a lot of sense. He can move. He's athletic, and he's got that power. And I love that wrestling background for this guy. You can't really overstate that enough. I mean, to understand angles, leverage, things like that, huge for a guard. So I would love Creed Humphrey in round 2.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I just don't like the guard / center. I just want somebody that's straight up played guard their whole college career, plug them in. Maybe I'm burned by the whole Pat Elflein guard / center, but I guess I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't argue it. I just want somebody that's not a Slash guy.
You keep saying Slash. Would you say there's ever been a greater guitar player than Slash?
Well, we already talked about Creed. So Slash November Rain video where he's just on the railroad tracks, just nailed it.
He did nail it. All right. Well, you went first for round 2. I'm gonna go first for round 3. Round 3 is an interesting spot for the Vikings. If they don't trade back into round 2, I think this is probably going to be a need area. But if they do trade in round 2, and then I think round 3, where they end up picking, whether it's at that first pick, 78, 73, whatever the hell it is, I think it's wide open. It could be any position. So I went wide receiver here, a guy you don't see commonly linked to the Vikings very often.
Is that wide open reference to Creed or?
Absolutely. We're sticking with the Creed theme. With arms wide open, they're looking at Dwayne Eskridge, the wide receiver from Western Michigan. This guy's, I know he's only 5'9", 188 pounds, but he is faster than shit. He's already a great route runner. He averaged 18.5 yards per catch in his career. That was his career. So he's definitely a deep threat. He can go speed. He can burn by guys, gives you that deep threat option. 15 touchdowns in his career. And he returned kicks last year. And he can play cornerback in a pinch if you really get in trouble.
Wow. Robert Tate style. Bump him back to corner. Yeah, I love this. I think he's a guy that might not even make it to round 3. He's gonna be one of those weird picks that could go way earlier than you think. Throw him in the slot, throw him back there, returning kicks, tons of versatility. I would love Dwayne
Eskridge.
Dwayne, I'm going with Minnesota Gopher Ben St. Juice.
Yeah.
Came out in the Senior Bowl, really made a splash. And the best part about him is it's really cliche to say, but you can't teach size. The guy's 6'3", 200 pounds. Put him back there. Cam Danzler, 6'2", Jeff Gladney, I think it's like 5'10". We're adding a bunch of size back there. Very, very, very intriguing. And Zimmer, I think, is going to look at this guy and get a little bit of a mild hard on for him. And I think he's a guy that could probably, like Mr. Eskridge, go earlier than anybody thinks.
What I like about St. Juice is, he's got long ass arms. He knows when to go up and high point the ball. He can play corner. He can play safety. I'm definitely on par with this. My concern is this. It's just Rick Spielman does not draft Gophers. So I hope that changes after you see how good Anton Winfield was last year, how good Tyler Johnson was last year. I hope he flips his script this year and gets St. Juice. I would be ecstatic if we got him in round 3. I think he's a guy who would come in, he would make an impact. And, he stood out in the Senior Bowl too, making plays.
He had a hell of a Senior Bowl.
He did. He really did. So, let's get a Gopher. Let's bring some Gopher maroon to the purple. Let's do it.
Well, they take him in round 3. He's pretty much, even with Mike Hughes healthy, he's a number 3 corner.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying to make Creed references in my mind, but the only song I can think of is With Arms Wide Open.
My Own Prison. I remember that one, but yeah, I don't really remember any Creed songs. I wasn't really a big Creed guy.
Oh, we've had some drunken jams to With Arms Wide Open.
Well, I went to a Creed concert once, and I think we stayed for 2 songs.
Who were you with?
Gentleman named Sneaky Joe.
My God, I'm surprised it wasn't a Luke Bryan concert.
I wish.
All right, round 4. This is you. Who are you starting with?
I am starting. You know what? I'm dipping into that safety swimming pool, and it is deep. I'm going Caden Stearns, Texas. Another guy who's getting a lot of late run. Good against the run. He's a ball hawk. He's a thumper. He's got good size. Another guy who had a good pro day. And when you get into round 4, the sexy names are probably going to start dwindling off, but there's still going to be some very good options. And I think Caden Stearns is the guy that will be there in round 4. And we have 9,000 round 4 picks. And I'd be shocked if one of these is not a safety, and Stearns could be looking them right in the face. And he would be a day 1 starter. Put him right next to Harrison Smith, losing Anthony Harris. Josh Metellus is special teams at best. Stearns, Smith, what a combo.
So you're looking at Stearns as a starter. I was wondering if he was like your second safety option, assuming we got one earlier. But I'm all for it. I think there's a ton of safeties in this class where the Vikings could potentially actually wait. I know I went on with Trayvon Mulrake at the first pick, but you don't know how they're going to rank these guys, where they think the best value is going to be, but I think it is deep enough into round 4 where you can find a starter, and that might be Caden Stern. So, yeah, I mean, if you're sitting there, you make all your picks. Let's say the Vikings don't trade. There'll be 3 picks in their 4th pick. He's getting a guy like Stearns who could come in and be a starter. That's huge value. Starting day 3 off with a starting safety would be huge for the Vikings. Could you imagine getting a starter to start day 3?
Well, and I want to be very clear here. We have 8 picks between round 3, 4, and 5. If we take a safety in round 3, I think a safety is still on the table in round 4. I would not be surprised one bit if they double dip at safety in the first 5 rounds.
Why wouldn't you, just to make sure that you find that starter? I don't know why you would not do that. I mean, you have so many damn picks. You might as well grab 2 at a huge. I mean, really, guard and safety are the 2 biggest needs the Vikings have going in this draft. I know we talk about other positions, but if you're looking to fill 2 huge holes where there really is nothing, you got to get safety.
I think I've seen that movie before.
Yeah, I think you have. It's called Raunchy Rons. Bad movie. All right, round 4, I went with the D tackle. I know. I'm a big Christian Barmore guy. You know how I feel about Marvin Wilson, but one guy who does not get the love he deserves, and he comes from this college that is going to have. I don't know. Every time I look at it, I'm like, holy shit, that guy's from Pitt too. This guy's from Pitt. Every mid-round prospect I love seems to be from Pitt. And another one is Jalen Twyman, 6'2", 290. You're looking for that guy who can create disruption in the interior. He had 10.5 sacks in 2019, 5 tackles for a loss. He did sit out last year, so you never know what kind of shape this guy's going to be, but he's got a quick get off. He is what we need. He's what we're looking for. You want to see that guy who has done it, who has those 10.5 sacks in one season. So I know I always spit out Marvin Wilson because I do love Marvin Wilson. I love a lot of these D tackles, but Jalen Twyman, I just feel like he's so under the radar, and he's really everything the Vikings are looking for next to Michael Pierce. He checks off everything in the box. He checks off. So Jalen Twyman, I would actually, if we end up with 3, 4 guys from Pitt this year in the draft, I'll be completely happy with that.
Gotta hope one of them is Paris Ford.
Yeah, he was, and so was Rashad Weaver.
Waves. Twyman, his only knock is it seems like he needs to get stronger. It seems like he needs to bulk up a little bit, but throwing anybody that has any sort of athleticism next to Michael Pierce, which Twyman has, is a win-win. So I would love it. And you're right. If we had ended up with 2 Pitt defenders, I'd be happy in my potty part. So he could be another guy that goes earlier than expected. The guys who opted out really scare the shit out of me, because I think they have the chance to go earlier, and everyone's just like, what the hell?
And that's what makes this draft this year so much fun, because more fun than normal, because these guys who opted out, you never know how teams are going to rank them. They could have them way up high, have them way down low for not playing. I mean, and maybe we'll get a sense of that by the time day 3 rolls around, to where, hey, this guy didn't play, so we know he's going to be down here. But maybe it's not going to matter. But we won't know until the draft starts. But yeah, Jalen Twyman. I was looking for him in the Lindy's magazine, couldn't even find him.
With arms wide open.
Couldn't find him.
Oh, God. All right. Those are our sleepers, rounds 1 through 4. Remember, in the comments, let us know your sleeper pick and which round. #sauce. Subscribe. Lupagus, what do you got?
Well, first of all, I'd say if we get enough sleeper picks that we get in comments, maybe we'll make a separate video just talking about those guys, which ones we like. Which ones, hell, I love that idea. I'm so smart. This is what I got for you. I did some research, and it turns out the chicken is the closest living relative to the Tyrannosaurus Rex.